Okay, so we're going to take a look at a number sense routine. This one is going to be called same and different. So what I would like for you to do is take about 30 seconds. And I want you to look at image that is labeled A and image that is labeled B. And I want you to think about first, how are these two images the same? So take 30 seconds to think about how are they the same? All right, so here's what I would like for you to do. I have image A and image B. So what I want you to do is go ahead and unmute your mic and tell me, what is something about these two images that you found that are the same?
So I see groups, circles.
So you see circles? You said groups of circles, right?
Well, there's circles and there's groups of dots, I guess.
Oh, okay. So we have circles.
Circles represent, I guess, the groups, right?
Okay, so circles with groups of dots. Or Stacy, what's another way that you could say that?
Well, what I see is there's the same number of circles in each group, in group A and group B, and they're laid out very similarly, even though one is horizontal and one is vertical. That's what I see as similarity.
Okay, so kind of to build on that, so we see the same number of circles, right? And how many circles do we see in A and how many do we see in B?
7.
7.
Okay, so they both have the same number of circles. And then what else did you say about that? Stacy, can you repeat that?
Oh, that in each group, A and B, the circles are laid out in a similar fashion. One is just horizontal and one is just vertical.
Oh,
does that make sense? So like if you turned A horizontally, they would look even more similar, I guess.
Okay.
Or the layout is similar.
Perfect. So we'll say, yeah, like in each group that this right here, so let me pull my little circle out, that this structure right here is similar to this structure right here, but the only difference is one is horizontal and one is vertical. Is that what you were saying? Perfect. So we see that we have some similarities. Is there anything else that you notice that is the same about these two images? What do each one of these images, what do they represent? Y'all were using some words like groups and same. So what are you noticing that both A and B are both representing?
They all have equal groups. They both have equal groups. So one is equal groups of 7 and the other is equal groups of 5, but there's equal groups.
Oh, okay. So they both have equal groups. Now, when we talk about equal groups, what mathematical concept are we referring to?
Well, it could be multiplication or division.
Oh, okay. So it could be, so we see in here that this is either going to be some sort of representation of multiplication or division. Stacy, is there anything else that this could also represent other than multiplication or division?
I say adding and subtracting.
Tell me more about that.
Well, so I had to put you guys on mute for just a second because I had to take a call from Pam. But before Rosa had given you her multiplication and division, tell me the question again.
So she said that of these, oh yeah, no, I don't mind at all. That both of these could represent multiplication or division. So the way that the groups are laid out and the equal groups and having the same. And so is there another mathematical concept that this picture could also represent that would be the same in A and B?
Like I said, addition and subtraction, and the reason you want me to tell you why I think that?
Yes, please.
Basically because when you're looking at the number of circles in each group, you could maybe add each kind of column or section within the group or subtract, in my mind.
Okay, awesome.
I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. So it really depends on what we're doing with the circles, right? We could use it as repeated addition, or because it's related to multiplication, we see that it also could be addition. And if it's related to division, it could also be seen as repeated subtraction. Now, I want to give you so you've been kind of looking at the things that are the same. So I'm going to give you about 20 seconds here, and I want you to think about what is different about A and what is different about B. So I'll give you about 20 seconds to do that. All right, so let's talk. Let's do some math talk. What is different from an image A and an image B?
Image A has 7 dots in each group. And image B has 5 dots in each group.
Okay. So this one has 7 dots, and in B, we see this one has 5 dots in each one. Okay. What else do you notice that is different between these two images?
Well, the total is going to be different.
Oh, so the total is going to be different. Now, how do you know that the total is going to be different?
Because 7 groups of 5 is like in B, there's 7 groups of 5, where in A there's 7 groups of 7. So they're not the same.
Yeah, you're right. So let's think about that. So you said 7 groups of 5 is going to be different than what's happening in B, right? So how would you write, if I wrote down 7 groups of 5, how would you write that as an expression?
So I would write 7 times 5.
Right? Okay. And what does 7 times 5 equal, Miss Rosa?
35.
35. Awesome. So Stacy, so she says that in A, that this represents 7 groups of 5, which would be 7 times 5, with net total is 35.
That goes in B.
That goes with B?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that goes with B. Okay. So Stacy, that goes with B. So if we take what Rosa's thinking about B, what would you say for A? What would that multiplication expression be?
7 times 7.
7 times 7. How do you know that it's 7 times 7?
So 7 groups of 7.
7 groups of 7. And then how would you write that as a multiplication?
Well, because there's 7 groups.
Okay.
7 times 7.
7 times 7. Awesome. And when you do 7 groups of 7 or 7 times 7, how many dots do you see? How many dots would that equal?
49.
49. Very good. Now, so we see that they both have a multiplication sentence, but we see that the total is going to be different. Is there anything else that's different between image A and image B?
One is horizontal and one is vertical in the setup.
Perfect. You know what?
So instead of like 2 columns of 3 each, there's 3 columns of 2 each, maybe, with an extra one there in the middle. I don't know.
Okay. So we see that one of them is vertical and we see that the other one is horizontal. Rosa, Stacy's been talking to us about how these are organized a little differently, right? Which one of these would you say represents a vertical organization, A or B?
If we're talking about that, vertical is A,
It would be A.
because it's up and down.
Okay, and then which one would you say would be horizontal?
The B, where it's
Very nice, very nice. And there's something really big missing out of this whole thing. So we know that this whole thing, what is this whole chart? Let's take a look at the things that are the same and different. And you both said a word really big, and I want to make sure that I add it to the top right here. And you said the word multiplication. And so we are looking at, you're using a lot of the language and the vocabulary of multiplication right here. So really nice job. So is there anything else before we move off this activity that you would say is different between image A and image B?
well, I know we were talking about multiplication, but another thing would be when you count on, you would be counting by sevens in A, whereas in B, you'd count by fives.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to add to that. So when we count on, what do we call that in multiplication when we count on by the same number?
Repeated addition.
Okay, so we got repeated addition. Or sometimes we call that skip counting.
Skip counting. I was going to say, what grade do you want me to be in?
So sometimes we could call that skip counting. So yeah, so depending on, yeah, if I'm at what grade level that I am looking at, if I could type, there we go. So addition would be skip counting. We could do repeated addition. Same thing over here. This same idea is we're skip counting and repeating addition by sevens in this one. And how is that different from what we're repeating over here in this one in B?
Well, that would be by fives.
That would be by fives.
You're still repeating, but it's by fives.
There we go. So we see it's similar that they're both repeating, but what they're repeating by is different. Very nice job. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording.